Hey guys, Fanciful T here. As you can see, I'm in a little bit different of a place. I am happy to report that I've made some significant progress as far as cleaning up my garage and getting my boat form together. So I'm going to kind of run through exactly what I've done since then, so that we can move forward and kind of show you the point I'm at with my boat. As always, go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe if you haven't. I'll leave a link in the description of the other two, the first two videos that I have made about this boat, as well as I do have another boat that I've built, which is the Squirt, which is a little 10-foot runabout that you can check out as well. I've done a video on that. But let's get started. I'm going to show you some of the progress that I've made. Alright, well that right there is my boat form, which are these 2x4s right here. And they're 24 inches apart, which is 2 foot, with a brace next to the first two legs and a brace over there in the front two. They are, I did extend the hull by 10%. I don't remember exactly what that made the length. But on the, I'll start at the front. This is frame 4. As you can see, I still have to do some sanding, do some more cutting out. But frame 4 actually gets attached to the front right here. And the top gets notched out a ½ inch because it sits a ½ inch lower than the rest of the frames do. That piece there will actually slide in between these two pieces right here and will come forward and loop down. I just have to clean all of my junk away before I can do that. This is frame 3. Again, I have some cutting to do. I need to notch this, but this gets fastened by blocking. I have a single screw through each side of it. Again, it's spaced 10% more. You start measuring from the rear and space all of your frames out accordingly. Pretty much frame 2 and frame 1 are done exactly the same way. I have 2 blocks on either side, or 1 block on either side for a total of 2 per frame. It also holds them to the center line, which I'll talk about in a second. Now the transom on this boat is a little different than the last one I did, in that it has 2 layers on the bottom. You can see exactly how thick that is, and these notches here I'm actually going to have to make here as well. But the double thickness is so that you can, when you go to put your hull on it, the plywood has more of a place to adhere to when you go to do it. So that's what that is for. It's also there for the extra support up underneath, because these right here, these 2x4s that are in the length, are actually going to stay in the boat. So they're not going to get taken out like a lot of other ones. And they're actually going to become framing for the flooring of the boat. Now on the transom, I haven't done the sides. I haven't cut those 2 out. There would normally be one here, and there would be one on the other side over there, as well as there would normally be a motor board, which is a square piece that goes here in the middle and down. The reason I haven't put any of those on yet, number one, I didn't have the wood for this, but I did want to go ahead and mount it just to see what, as far as sizing, what I had. The reason I didn't do the motor board is because I'm not sure what kind of motor I'm using yet. I don't know if I'm going to have to notch it out, because you can actually cut some of the top off, which I may do, but you can also mount it through depending on the sizing. So it just depends on exactly what I want to do and how I want to do it, of how I'm going to mount that motor to it. But as you can see, I'm coming along. I got all of my junk cleared off of that workbench over there, and that's going to be coming out. And that saw table there is going to be coming out. And all of this is going to get thrown away and reorganized so that the boat frame itself can actually sit up against that wall, so I have room when I'm not building it. Because I do have other projects that I work on as I'm doing this. A couple things I want to go over real quick. When you are setting up your frame, one of the most essential things is to keep your center line true. And what I mean by that is that your frames aren't to one side or to the other, and that it's all going to be those straight lines and it'll look the same on either side. So the way that you're going to do that is when you set it up on your frames, from the back side of your 2x4 to a fixed point on either side of your frame. It could be here, it could be here, it could be here. Doesn't matter. I do the furthest corner. I don't cut my 1/4 inch pieces that hold everything together. And the reason I don't do that is specifically for this, so that I can go from the middle here to this one and measure, and then do the exact same on the other side, and that centers the frames up, so that not only are these pieces, once they get laid, going to be the same on either side as they curve around, the middle is actually going to line up perfectly all the way down the frame, as long as you cut your frames right. If you're working with a frame kit, because you don't actually have to cut the frames out, you can purchase a frame kit from glenl.com. And I'll put the link down in the description for where I bought the plans on this boat and all the different things you can get from them. Personally, I like to cut my own frames out. It just adds something else that I get to do to the boat, and I can say I built it from scratch. But you can buy a frame kit, and what that frame kit is going to come with is all of your frames cut out. You still have to assemble them, but they will be cut out. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the transom. Now the transom is tilted at a 15-degree angle, alright, and that is at the top, or what would be the bottom of the boat. Since it's flipped over the top, it's angled backwards, away from the front of the boat. And the reason is, when you get the boat in the water, that's going to give you the most stability on any boat. You see some that are the other way, but most boats that you find are going to be angled in that direction. So you just want to make sure when you're cutting your 2x4s that whatever the length is for the bottom of the boat. So if it's 110 inches from the front of your 2x4 to the back, it's actually 110 plus, because you're going to cut it at an angle. So what I mean by that is that from this point right here, all the way on the front, to the back, on the back here, to right way up in that corner, because this is an angle cut, all the way up in the corner, that's where your measurement goes to. It doesn't go to down here, otherwise your hull will be a little shorter than you're wanting it to be. You really want to make sure that those pieces aren't twisted or bowed in any way, and the reason is, if they are bowed or they are twisted, that's going to affect how your frames are sitting, as well as it's going to affect the overall look of the boat once you've finished. The other thing that you're going to want to do is get yourself a level. You're going to take the level and put it on the underside of the floors here, and you're going to put it across each of the 2x4 to make sure that everything is level, so that once you flip the boat, you can again put a level across your frames and make sure that nothing has twisted, so that once you start putting flooring down and you start building your cabin and you start putting seats in the boat, that it's not going to twist and contort it, and you always have that one place where you can go back to and say, put your level on it and make sure that it is still level. And again, all of the frames 1 through 4 are going to have these 1/2 inch pieces on them for the floorboards, because the frames do come in 4 different pieces. And you'll want to make sure that each one of those is level, so that your frames, one frame isn't this way and the other's this way and then this one's this way, because then you'll start having ripples down the bottom of your hull, and that's just not good for a boat. So you really don't want it like that. So that's pretty much all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I can get some more of these boat videos done. I have a couple other videos down the pipeline. I've been doing a lot with the John and Adrian channel, as well as Laugh Spectrum, and you can check them both out on YouTube. I'll go ahead and link the descriptions down below. I am on a weekly podcast Monday nights on Twitch with my brother John. You can check that out. I'll find a link in the and put it in the description as soon as I find one, but that comes out every Monday night between 8 and 9 o'clock. We sit down and it is a live podcast, so we have a lot of fun with that, so you can check that out too. And thank you to everyone. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell so that you know anytime that I release a video, it'll let you know. Thank you all so much, and as always, stay fancy.